All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Ultra High Net Worth Clients Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Broadhead. Today, we have the pleasure of talking with Dr. Javon Jackson. Hey, Dr. Javon, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Absolutely. Hello, Chris. Hello, everyone. I am Jovan Jackson, and I am a wife. I'm a wife and a mom of two beautiful girls, Jada and Loren. I'm also a woman of faith. I really do try to live my life and run my business according to biblical principles. And I'm the founder of Good News Financial and Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisory firm in the state of Maryland.
That's awesome. You sound very passionate about what you do. Can
Yeah.
you tell us how you got into the financial advisory world?
Yeah, sure. I tell you, I'm really still blown away just by the fact that 15 plus years ago, I left corporate America to pursue entrepreneurship. And I haven't looked back since. Now I'm one of the few minority owned advisory firms where we're managing millions of dollars. Four times published author, all these great things. But a lot of people don't know is that there was a time where I had the rug pulled right from underneath of me. I found myself broke, busted, alone, pregnant, all of that after that 2008 real estate bust. Everything that you can think of financially devastating to happen, it happened. Foreclosures, bankruptcies, repos, divorce, all of that became my reality. And I remember trying to figure out how in the world did I get here. I was doing working real hard, working 10, 12-hour days and doing everything that I thought was right, being a good steward with my money. At least I thought I was, and paying my tithes and offerings, all of those things. But yet there I was in this place that I never thought possible. And so I had to start. I remember finding myself reading a book. I was given a book during that time to read called Tax Free Retirement by a guy named Patrick Kelly. And what was interesting was that I had actually been pre-exposed to about 70% of the information in that book, but it was that 30% that was actually in my blind spot that I didn't know, that had I known before the rug pulled from underneath for me, I would have made some different choices. And so I at that point I realized like I got to start putting the pieces of my life back together. And so I did that by educating myself and connecting with people who knew more about money, because I've learned real fast that if you don't have a plan to grow and sustain your wealth, that you could quickly find yourself in a real dark place real fast. And so it was after all of that is when I decided that I was going to become a messenger of good news, because Chris, I really didn't want any of my family and friends to go through all of that financial devastation that I went through. And so that's why I'm real committed now. I'm passionate about helping pre-retirees to really, dot those I's and cross those T's and really cover those blind spots, so that, they can, get to multiplying their money, saving and leveraging their money so that ultimately they can get to that dream retirement that they deserve after working 20, 30 years, in the workforce. And so, yep, that's how I got here and why I'm really passionate about it, because I know what it feels like to think that you're doing everything right and then to figure out that you just missed a few things and everything is a mess.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. No, and
yeah.
you were definitely not alone in the 2008 recession
Mm-hmm.
situation. So, did
Mm-hmm.
you have any kind of like specific great insights from such a, you know, tough time?
Yeah. You better have a plan. You better have a plan that's well diversified, that's not that you control. Right now I really teach a concept about being your own bank. That's, I've written a book about it, because it was that strategy that I had that pre-exposure to before things got crazy. But I didn't get all of the information. I didn't fully maximizing it. So really positioning yourself to be your own bank where you're not depending on all of these exterior forces that you have no control over. And so that whole situation just really taught me, like, you want to have a nice diversified bucket strategy where you have cover your income, cover your main expenses, to make sure that's locked in, because a lot of times people don't. They're kind of lopsided, one-sided here or one-sided there, and then when all it takes is something like that, a pandemic, a 2008 or whatever else is coming down the pike to happen, and then you're sitting out there swimming with no clothes on. So yeah.
Yeah. I love the concept of being your own bank. Can you
Mm-hmm.
expand on that? Like, tell us how you came up with that idea and how that works.
Yeah, I wish I could take the credit, Chris, but I can't. It's 100+ year old strategy that's been around forever. The wealthy has been using it for years. But what I love about it is, first and foremost, is that being your own bank is a mindset first. Okay. It's a wealth creator's mindset. And so unfortunately, society has taught us how to have a saver's mindset and a spender's mindset. And so that won't get you very far. You got to graduate to this wealth creation mindset. And so once you change your mindset, then it's a strategy. It's a financial position where you have liquidity, use, and control of your resources that you accumulate, which we refer to as the luck factor. L for liquidity, U for use, C for control. And then the K stands for knowledge, okay? Because we're big on educating people and understanding different strategies that are outside the status quo. And so then once you have this in place, then you're able to start building wealth, just like traditional banks do, using one of the most powerful concepts in the financial world called leverage, okay? Being able to use every dollar at least 2 times. Traditional banks use every dollar that we deposit in their institution, they use it at least 7 times. So if we can do at least half of that, that's the concept. That's what it's about, putting yourself in that position to allow the power of compound interest to work in your favor versus against you, just like the banks do to us every single day. And I wrote the book about it, to learn more. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I did write a book. It's called You Be the Bank. I wrote this book, You Be the Bank, Financial Self to Wealth. I wrote this book back in 2014, actually. And so, yeah, it's teaching you exactly how that's done, dispelling a lot of the retirement myths, and, really exposing a lot of the institutional advice that's out there that doesn't work for today's financial climate. So anyone can get a copy. I believe you're going to drop a link to my site, and they can get a copy of this right under my merchandise page. And it'll kind of give you a lot more details of how that works.
That's awesome. And we'll definitely link to that in the show notes.
Okay.
Can you give us an example or walk us through how, a normal person could leverage their money like a bank does?
I guess I can so a lot of time, one of the ways that people leverage this concept is through how they make major purchases. So there's really only 2 ways that you can velocitize your money, and that's using real estate, which is one of my favorites, and insurance, specially designed life insurance. And so it's all about how you save and accumulate your money. And so I have clients who they're able to be their own bank, and they're able to pay off their debt in, let's say, on average 9 years or less, without them spending any more money by the way that they currently save money. So I have a couple that I always brag about. They're actually a lot younger than my average typical client. But they came to me, looking for ways that they could get out of debt and that they could save more efficiently. And so we set them up with the family bank strategy, and we were able to take them from 29 years in debt down to about 9 years, just under 10 years in debt, spending the same exact money that they're spending. Because one of the things that we focus on first and foremost before we start to build your savings and investments is we focus on showing people how to recoup monies that they are losing unknowingly and unnecessarily. We spend a lot of time there. And then once we find this money, now we're able to reallocate that money into a more efficient vehicle, which is our family bank vehicle that sets them up so that they can have that liquidity use and control. And then they're able to velocitize or leverage that money as it accumulates. And so this couple, their initial goal was to get out of debt. And so we were able to utilize their savings to pay off their debt. And then after that, this girl was so bad, she always wanted to start a business, and she decided to start a business in Airbnb. And so after she didn't completely pay off her debt, but she had accumulated money in her bank, then she pivoted and she said, I'm going to start an Airbnb business. She started an Airbnb business with using the money that she had accumulated, and she started the business. In her first year, she made over $200,000 from her Airbnb business. So now she was able to actually take that 9 years in debt and dump even more money on there, because again, she used the power of compound interest and let it work in her favor and started investing not just in her debt, but she also started investing in other income producing assets. So it was powerful. Yeah, it was powerful.
Cool. Can you tell us about your ideal client and who you predominantly serve?
Yeah, absolutely. So my ideal client is an entrepreneurial executive. They're typically in that pre-retiree stage. And when I say entrepreneur executives, I mean they have a full-time job, but they may have a business on the side, or they have had one, or they aspire to have one. So they already have a certain type of mindset. They fall between the ages 45 to 65 age. They have families, and they're most of the time concerned with growing their money safely. They're concerned with minimizing their taxes, as well as leaving a legacy for their future generations. So that's typically what my ideal client looks like. And I do have a niche market that we work with federal employees. That's a niche market of ours where we do a lot of employee training on their federal employee benefits, showing them how to fill in the gaps as well. So that entrepreneurial executive who kind of fall within those guidelines.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And what's the best way you have found to find these types of clients?
Most of our clients come from workshops, because our firm, we host a lot of workshops. We're really big on education and seminars, because we believe that educated clients are the best clients. And we prefer to spend our time with others who are willing to invest their time in getting an understanding. They tend to be the most loyal clients. I don't have to worry about a fast talking salesperson coming behind me, bamboozling them out of the plan that we set, because they understand. They're educated. They understand principles and concepts and strategies. And so it just makes planning so much easier when they're fully educated. And the workshops allows us to do that.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And as you know, this is the Ultra High Net Worth Clients podcast, so I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this. How did you find and close your largest client? You don't have to share specifics, anything that will get either of us in hot water, but if you're comfortable sharing, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I believe it was, it was a workshop. It was an online workshop, and I did some advertising. I think I went through a third party company who kind of help you with the campaign, the marketing campaign of it. And I think we did some marketing on Facebook. And so, yeah, they saw it was called the Women's Retirement Roadmap workshop. It was just for women. And yeah, one of my best clients came through that workshop, and I love her today. I've built my whole avatar around her persona, because she was just that person, high salary. She operated an Airbnb in her home, in her basement. Concerned about all of those same things that I talked about. And so I would love to be able to find 30 more. I've built a whole avatar around, her, who came actually through an online workshop, because she's just a great person.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're coming close to the end of our time here.
Okay.
I do like to end the interviews with a rather kind of open-ended, subjective question.
Mhm.
And that question is, what are you working towards?
What am I working towards? Well, expansion, growing my practice. Yeah, adding more advisors. I'm also looking to do more corporate and government contracts, where I'm able to educate employees down at that benefit level, because the problem is that we have is, we're in this phase where over the next 5 to 10 years, you have millions of baby boomers who are set to retire, and 88% of them are not confident. And so it's really important that they're not confident that they'll be able to maintain their same quality of life in retirement. And so that's a real problem. So we're really looking to try to fill that gap by starting to come into companies to educate people on how to maximize their benefits, fill in any gaps that exist there, so that people will come out with that confidence, with that clarity, feeling in control of their future. And so that's the best way that we found that we're able to do it at a much larger scale through employee education and work groups like that. So, yep, expansion and connecting with corporations at the employee level.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I think with your enthusiasm and really warm personality, I can see you there already.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
Chris.
and I'm very excited to check out your book. I love that concept of being your own bank, so I'll definitely be checking that out myself. Where can our audience find out more about you?
I'm on all the social platforms. Well, at least LinkedIn, I'm there under Dr. Javon Jackson. Facebook as well, same thing. Instagram, my website, they can connect with me through my website at almostreadytoretire.com. Almostreadytoretire.com. They can go there, and I offer 15-minute consultations, just to kind of see, hey, if we're a good fit, if it's something that I can help you with. I offer a lot of workshops and seminars. I love for people to come through me after meeting me online, right? Through a lot of my free resources that I provide. So, and definitely YouTube as well. Rebranding my channel on YouTube under Good News Financial, but I'll have a lot of resources there, video resources there as well, so people can connect there too.
Awesome. And we'll be sure to link all of that in the show notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much again for coming on the program. Really enjoyed speaking with you. And everybody out there, we'll see you next time. See ya.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you, Chris.